Warning, this content may be disturbing to some audiences. Subscribe. If you dare. They started adding a sentence in the commercials. Do not take trivexica if you are allergic to trivexica. Hey everybody, welcome to ANECDOSED. People ask Reddit. What only exists because humans are dumb? Number 1. Commenter. This is for external use only. Person B. In pharmacy, this sticker and unwrapped suppository before insertion are so frequently used it's mind-boggling. You have to wonder how people don't know that they shouldn't stick sharp tin foil up their asshole. Person C. I have a curling iron with that printed right below the dial. Not just in the manual, which I might see as reasonable for legal purposes, but on the actual product. Number 2. Commenter. Do not eat contents on a claymore mine. Person B. Yup, along with front point toward enemy as if the people with access to clamoring have zero training. Hand grenades also have instructions, instructing the user on how to throw them. Number 3. Commenter. Warnings on hammers saying this object can cause damage if you strike yourself. Person B. Can't believe all the effing laws that exist just because someone someday decided that he could be a real prick. Person C. Warnings on chainsaws to not attempt to stop with hands or testicles. Person D. Yeah, basically the entire realm of products liability law. Person E. I've never seen it on hammers, but have seen hair dryers and other electric-powered items be used as an example. A lot of these modern appliances we have were invented at times where people didn't know about ground wires, proper wiring, conduction, etc. Or at least they didn't care. When it became apparent that stuff was dangerous when misused, they probably started putting warnings on these things as deaths became popular with them. Person F. Label on a hairdryer, do not use it when sleeping. I was like, what the hell? Until I thought about it. What dummy tried to use it to warm their bed, use it as heat if they didn't have any? While sleeping, and burn the damn house down. Person G. Similarly, warnings on coffee that it's hot. Person H. Bleach warnings telling you not to drink it. Person I. Also, boxes of nails sometimes say to not put them in your mouth. Person J. My hammer has a warning that it contains chemicals that cause cancer. Number 4. Commenter. When I worked at Petco, it said on the tank kits that it doesn't include the actual fish. I always said I know this is on here because someone asked that question. After working in retail, nothing surprises me anymore. Person B. Warning, do not iron clothes while on body. Label that is on lots of clothing irons. Person C. My husband worked at Radio Shack years ago and they had a small screwdriver set with a warning label that read do not insert in penis. I didn't believe it until he showed it to me on the shelf. People are idiots. Person D. When I was in Australia, all the buses had stickers on the driver's side window which said that people can't exit/enter the bus through that window. I want to see the reason that sticker is there. Person E. Every lab manual through my time at university had do not pipette by mouth in it. It basically means don't suck the chemicals up with a straw to your mouth and spit them out where you want them. One of my instructors let us know that every weirdly specific rule in the book was the result of someone doing something that they thought it went without saying that you shouldn't do. Stupid people, even at a university level. Person F. Like the tag on your hair dryer cord that says, do not use it in shower. Person G. Like the moron who knowingly had a peanut allergy but opened the packet of peanuts on an aeroplane, which means that peanut packets now have to say may contain nuts. I should bloody hope my packet of nuts contains nuts. Person H. I once bought a can of butane to refill a lighter. One of the warning labels said that the contents may be flammable. Person I. In my country, some warnings are required by law, like in cases of allergies. This results in some weird cases like eggs with mandatory warning contain eggs, for example. Person J. Commercial years ago for the Hyundai Tiburon driving underwater in the ocean, because Tiburon means shark or something, and at the bottom of the screen it said do not drive into the ocean. Person K. I don't understand the warning labels on buses because there's an emergency hammer protected by glass in case of an emergency. The only problem is you don't have a hammer to break the glass with, and it says on the label you can't use your hands or feet to break the glass and get to the emergency hammer. Number 5. Commenter. Flammable tags on underwear. Person B. I bought my daughter a Darth Vader costume that said keep away from fire. Gave me a good giggle. Number 6. Commenter. Let's not get on a tangent about the topic of TV ads for prescription medication, but recently, last couple years, they started adding a sentence in the commercials. Do not take trivexica if you are allergic to trivexica. What happened to make that a thing that they need to mention now? Why the hell would anyone knowingly continue to put a drug in their body if they knew or realized they were allergic to it? Answer: people are stupid. I get that it's to protect them legally, but it's mind-blowing to me that it needs to be said even to do that. There will always be dumb people, but I don't think this type of ad will work nearly as well on the younger generations. There's just a lot of middle-aged Karens out there that target people who look some stuff up on WebMD, self-diagnose, and then try to self-prescribe medication before their doctor even takes a look at them. Person B. What I think is even crazier is when they say tell your doctor if you have a history of incredibly complex medical/biological terms you've never heard of before taking trivexica, like your doctor wasn't the one who told you have that condition. Person C. I hate medicine ads. If you're unwell, see a doctor and they will tell you what you need. You don't need to tell your doctor you need X medication because you saw it on TV. If that were the case, we wouldn't need diagnosticians. Person D. My wife works for a pharma company that developed a cure for a chronic and eventually fatal condition. They had at least one person who was allergic to their drug continue to take it until it ended up killing him. The alternative was that the illness would eventually kill him, maybe in another decade, but he probably thought he could power through the rashes and hives and be cured of the underlying condition. Unfortunately for my wife's company, it resulted in them getting a black box warning on their label, potentially fatal adverse event, which is unfortunate because the drug was otherwise not life-threatening. Moral of the story is that it can be out of desperation as well as stupidity, and the impacts that the pharmaceutical company can be significant as it can force an otherwise completely safe drug to be labeled as life-threatening. Person E. Cans of tuna have allergy warnings stating they contain fish. Presumably in case someone with a fish allergy is shopping for tuna. Person F. Worst part is it's usually some new drug that's unrelated to most allergies someone may have. So you'd never know until you took it anyway. Person G. As a doctor, the number of patients taking their family/friends pills to treat their own illnesses is astonishing. Yesterday a guy called in and told me that his mom gave him one pill of an old Augmentin antibiotic. Dude has a penicillin allergy. I explained this to him and he told me it's not penicillin. I had to explain it's a family of drugs. Never take medication unless your doctor tells you to do so. Person H. I saw a commercial for a drug that's supposed to treat low blood sugar, and in the side effect the narrator listed hypoglycemia. In what world is it okay for a side effect to be the same as the thing you're treating? That's like if the side effects of NyQuil listed a runny nose and cough. Person I. In the Netherlands they have a law that any kind of ad with a loan or a pay in X terms with 0% interest has to be followed by the warning, watch out. Lending money costs money. I think it's a good thing to protect the gullible, and I always giggle at how it undermines the 0% interest line. Number 7. Commenter. The companies that get you out of timeshares. Person B. I work for a timeshare. The levels of stupidity and entitlement by both the owners and the people who sell the timeshares are off the charts. Everyone from the top down is scammed. I only justify the evil because I'm in food and beverage and have nothing to do with that side. Person C. I got roped into a timeshare presentation a couple years ago. The guy says maintenance fees are under 2%. I'd done my homework, reading the prior couple of years 10K, and knew it was 10%. I continued to hammer him the entire time with the info in the financial statements, which very much contradicted his sales pitch. If you ever get roped into one of these things, it can be fun to nail them to the wall if you're prepared. The guy had never had anyone with financial statements before. Person D. Till there are companies who get you out of timeshares. I remember my parents spent an entire day in Bali sitting through timeshare presentations because they wanted some freebie that was advertised. Person E. I've sworn never to buy a timeshare, but I did opt for a 4-day trip to a great Florida resort where the stay was free, and they offered me a $50 restaurant gift certificate, or they'd upgrade it to a $200 Visa gift card if I did the 1-hour presentation. It was a great trip and I don't regret it, but let me tell you, this kind of thing is not for people who are likely to feel guilty when the employee gives you a cold shoulder shutdown because you said no. It worked to get me to do the presentation, the way they went to this icy cold, well, that's fine, tone when I said I thought I'd just take the $50 restaurant gift hit me in the gut, yeppy, though thank goodness it didn't work to get me to buy the timeshare, because I went in saying to myself, do not buy this. No matter how good it sounds. You know better. But it did sound good when they were presenting, and I did feel guilty at the end of the presentation for saying no, like it was my fault they spent so much time on me. Also, if you say no, they keep lowering the price. Beware, if you really don't want to buy. If you have guts of cast iron, enjoy a free trip. Otherwise, save yourselves. Person F. Timeshares are apartments near vacation areas, beaches, theme parks, etc., that many people own a piece of and schedule when they get to be there. Imagine 52 people owning a beachside apartment and only getting a week per year each. They exist because the company makes far more money selling individual shares of the apartment. It's usually a very bad investment. Person G. Timeshares usually cost $820K. Then they get that from 26 to 52 people. It can turn a property that typically would sell for $300K to over $500,000. Then the company that manages the timeshare, for scheduling and maintenance, takes a cut for monthly or annual fees. Most people just buy one, use it a couple times, then wish they hadn't bought it. When they go to sell it, they find out it is just as complicated, if not more complicated, as a typical real estate transaction for a condominium, but no one ever wants to buy it, because they are generally regarded as a shitty deal. So the owners are faced with high exit costs since there is no resale market and they have to pay fees forever basically. Owners then go to these secondary companies which try to consolidate ownership of the timeshare or run their own high-pressure sales teams to resell the property to the next unsuspecting buyer. The companies usually pay about 10 to 30% the original purchase price and the owners suffer a loss just to unload the property. Timeshares, generally regarded as a bad idea. Number 8. Commenter. Some really strange laws, like handling fish suspiciously, can end you up in jail in the UK. Person B. I believe it's in Massachusetts, but there's a law that says you are not allowed to keep a mule on the second floor of your home or something along those lines. Person C. In Georgia, U.S. state, it is illegal to tie off your giraffe to a telephone pole. Person D. It's also illegal in GA to put ice cream in your back pocket on a Sunday. Admittedly, this one makes sense in context. It used to be a relatively common way of stealing horses while people were in church. You untie the horse and get it to follow you around licking the ice cream, and people just think, oh, that horse is following them, it must be their horse. Make sure to share your personal story in the comments below and have the opportunity to be featured in a future video. Also, if you like these topics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button to continue seeing more content like this every day. See you next time.